Do you remember the show The Little Rascals, Carmela?
I do.
Well, the wine we are learning about today is known by the nickname Little Rascal in the local Italian dialect.
I wonder why.
Well, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing what might be behind that name.
Me too.
Hello and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair.
Woo!
I almost didn't give you the space to say it there.
I know, you're just always, you've got the script, remember? So
That's true.
Keep going.
Okay, well, if you're new to our podcast, here's a quick orientation. Each week, we explore a different wine varietal or blend like, Pinot Noir or Bordeaux or Arneis, and dive into what makes it unique and special and worth learning about. And our goal is to help you expand your wine knowledge in a fun way that regular people can understand. And we also taste and review 2 to 3 wines, Carmela, under $20 each. And then we share our scores and recommendations with you.
It's as if I've never done this before.
I know, but this is for people who don't know the podcast.
I know.
And we're going to share them with you to help you find great wines without breaking the bank.
Love it.
Yeah, and we're proud to say that Decanter Magazine calls us fun, irreverent,
We talk a lot.
and entertaining. That was good ad lib. I like it. A good actor ad libs. A good actor
Oh
ad
my
libs.
God. Okay.
Okay, so Carmela, after a week in France last week, at least
when we were
virtually,
in France?
virtually in France,
Right.
we are now back in Italy. Yes, virtually
the
as
homeland.
well. Yes, that's right. For another Italian wine adventure.
Woo! One of these days we're going to make it there.
We will. Now, in case you need a reminder or you have no idea what the hell we're talking about, in these Italian wine adventure episodes, we explore a specific Italian wine so that we can learn more about different winemaking areas of the country.
In the comforts of our own home.
In the comforts of our own home, and that country being Italy, and they make the most wine in the world, believe it or not. They make a lot of wine in Italy. They make 5 billion liters of wine.
Oh my God. That's not even something you can
I don't even know.
Wrap your head around.
You can't even picture it. You can't even picture it.
No, I
use
cannot picture
my Italian accent. Okay, and now for those of you who don't know the metric system, which is what the rest of the world uses, that's 1.3 billion gallons, okay?
Okay.
And I was thinking about
this. Is that?
It actually, there was a thing about the number of pools. It's like 2,400.
No.
Yeah, 2,400 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
That's ridiculous. Still, that's even. It's hard.
Well, it actually doesn't even feel as big as 5 billion. I think 5 billion sounds bigger. But anyway, listen to this. When I was writing the show notes for this episode,
You write show notes?
We have show notes. But do you remember in grade school that there was a time when the U.S. tried to move to the metric system? Do you remember this?
I don't. Not really.
Okay, in 1975,
I was like in preschool.
No, you weren't even born yet, right?
Right.
You weren't even born yet. But in 1975, President Ford signed the Metric Conversion Act, and it was an attempt, we were going to move to the metric system. We are one of the 3 countries in the world that doesn't use the metric system.
Is this you're kind of going off the rails today?
A little bit.
Okay.
But because here's the thing, we talk about wine. People talk about wine. It's in the metric system.
True.
Wine comes in 750 milliliter bottles. They don't go
whatever.
Exactly. And we don't even know what that means. But anyway, I just was thinking about that because I remember they tried to move us to the metric system and it didn't stick.
I really don't remember that.
Well, and
it didn't happen, so.
That's why I said it didn't stick.
No,
exactly. But today we're not talking about the metric system. We're talking about the little known and underappreciated white wine from the Little Rascal from the famous Piedmont area of Italy, where great wines like Barolo and Barbaresco come from, as well as some of our favorite white wines like Gavi de Gavi. And this underappreciated white wine is called Arneis. And again,
how is that spelled?
Oh, good question. Arneis. And I don't think this is a wine that we've ever tried before.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. Yeah, and as you mentioned, and as we said in the intro, it translates in the local Piemontese accent into Little Rascal.
Arneis does?
That's right. Yes, Arneis.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And by the way, while we're kind of on a tangent, what did you say I was on? A little side, what did you call it?
Well, you just went off the rails because you always say I go off the rails, but all of a sudden you started talking about the metric system. And I'm sure that was in the script, but I just thought it was kind of funny.
Well, while we're going off the rails, Carmela, I'm just going to say that we are on our 13th Italian wine adventure episode. Carmela, in the United States, the number 13 is considered unlucky.
Which is such a lie.
Because you know what?
My birthday's on the 13th of
And didn't you wear the number 13 when you played soccer?
I did. For a lot of my soccer career, I was number 13, yes.
But back to Italy. In Italy, 13 is not an unlucky number.
Is it lucky?
It's a lucky number.
Wow.
Yes,
I think
that's
I knew
right.
that.
Yeah, so evidently 13 is associated with the goddess Venus. I think the goddess Venus, I'm not sure. As well as fertility and the lunar cycle. And the number is supposed to be prosperity and long life. And in fact, when Italians bet on soccer, or football as they would call it, they use the expression fare 13, which means to make 13. It literally means to make 13, but that means to hit the jackpot.
Wow.
Fare 13.
I'm going to remember that. I knew it.
Now, here's another thing about this, back to Italy and wine. I don't know if this is a coincidence.
This is so much like extra information. I'm like really interested.
But I don't know if this is a coincidence, but Arneis wines are often about 13% alcohol.
Oh, I doubt
it's true.
I mean,
it's totally
true. Are they all?
Well, yes, they're higher.
How many have you looked
at all of them? I've looked at every single one.
Is it?
No. No. The deal is that actually is kind of high for a white wine.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just totally appropriate that for our 13th Italian wine adventure episode, we're doing a wine that's 13% alcohol.
That little rascal.
I know. So there you go.
Rascal.
Okay, but hopefully this will be a lucky episode for us.
I'm feeling lucky.
I'm feeling like we've actually had good luck with most of our Italian wine episodes, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. And
I mean,
again,
I don't know. I just think that they're good wines.
Yeah, and it's a white wines, and you love white wine. I love white wines. You know, hey, we're gonna. So today we're gonna see if Arneis will enter into our list of preferred white wines, and we have 2 Arneis wines from Piedmont or Piemonte that we're gonna taste and review and let you know if we think you should look for them or add them to your wine list. But first,
you got to do our shameless plug.
That's right. So thank you for listening to us and supporting our show. And if you haven't had the chance to do so yet, now would be the perfecto time to follow or subscribe to our podcast. And we want to thank all of you who have already subscribed. You win. You win. You get extra participation points just for doing that. And you know, another great job. I can't even talk. Another great way, thank you. Another great way to support us and to earn participation points is to leave us a nice rating and review.
People are going to want payback on these participation points.
And while you're on that, you can follow us and see pictures of the wines.
Lucky 13 you.
Exactly. You can see pictures of the wines that we're tasting and trying today and weird AI pictures I make at Instagram at The Wine Pair Podcast. You can contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. You can sign up for our email newsletter there. And if you missed the last one, just send me a note, joe@thewinepairpodcast.com, and I will send you the latest newsletter. And a special shout out to Maria, who reached. Yeah, it's like a reflex for you to do that. Okay. Maria reached out to us, and she's never heard that before, by the way.
I mean, really, some people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, West Side Story people, get with it, okay? Greatest musical ever. But I can't watch it anymore because it makes me really depressed. Okay, but back to Maria, who reached out to us last week after we sent out our newsletter, and she sent us a super sweet note about she's listened to us for a while and listens to us while she's on walks, which is when I often listen to podcasts too. And I'm breaking up, I'm cracking up here, and she asked us if we would consider.
Sentimental
I feel sensitive. No, but she asked us if we would consider an episode on Tintero grapes. I don't even know how to say it, but we're gonna do it. It's an excellent idea. I'm gonna learn how to pronounce it, and we're gonna do it, Maria. One of these days we're gonna do it in the not so distant future. How about that?
Wow. And I'm down.
Yeah, and we want to make content that you care about. So reach out to us, send us a note, DM us, drop us a line, call us on the phone.
Knock us on the door. Knock us on the head. No. Knock on our door.
And we will take care of it.
We won't answer typically.
No, because like most people, we pretend we're not home.
Yes.
But that's a whole different story.
But you still can knock on our door.
You can knock on the door. We just won't answer it. Okay.
True.
And as we do every week, we'll tell you someone we think you should recommend the Wine Pair Podcast to so we can keep growing our listeners. And this week, we want you to recommend us to anyone who's very superstitious because we think we may be able to convince them that 13 is not an unlucky number.
Yeah. If they are, they can listen to the podcast and find out that in Italy, it is a lucky number.
Yeah, that's right.
And it could just shatter all of their,
Don't say shatter because, like, you break a glass and that's bad
that's
luck.
a superstition.
You're right. Get over the superstitions.
Right. We're trying to, eliminate them.
By the way, Italians are very superstitious. I have an image in my mind right now of my mom saying malocchio, which was the bad eye. And she'd kind of do these horns with their fingers. Eye. Yeah, malocchio.
No, but that you would give a bad eye.
You're right. Yeah. It didn't mean you needed glasses. No, it's the evil eye. You're giving or getting the evil eye.
Oh, boy, you're getting a...
You better go to the eye doctor.
This is bad luck. Speaking of bad luck, you're going to get a bad eye.
Oh, boy. All right, here we go. Let's learn a little bit about just what the Arneis wine is, Carmela.
Let's do it.
So the first thing is, I told you again, it translates into...
I told you once, I don't.
A million times it translates into little rascal. But evidently it also has the nickname of white Barolo. Oh. And it's also known as Bianchetta and sometimes Nebbiolo Bianco. So I feel like this wine may also have an identity crisis, but that's a whole nother story.
Right.
Now, unlike a lot of Italian white wines, and we think about things like Pinot Grigio and Soave and Vermentino, which can be on the lighter and crisper side, Arneis can be a little bit more like medium-bodied, maybe a little bit heavier mouthfeel than a typical Italian white wine. So this will be really interesting.
Yeah.
And unlike Barolo and Barbaresco, which again are wines made from the Nebbiolo grape in the region of Piedmont, or like Gavi di Gavi, which is also a white wine from Piedmont. It's made from the Cortese grape, but named for the region it's from. Arneis is the name of the wine and the name of the grape. So that's interesting.
Everything to everyone.
I guess, yes.
Just trying to be.
In Piedmont, that's actually relatively unique. And in Italy, a lot of times, you will find that wines are named for regions rather than grapes. But anyway, because of that, you may find Arneis from other parts of Italy and other parts of the world, like they're starting to grow it in California, especially in Sonoma, in Oregon, in New Zealand, and Australia. Now, there is one exception to that. The wine is sometimes known as Roero Bianco. Roero is a small DOCG, that's the highest, designation of wine, DOCG area in Piedmont. And it's one of the main areas where Arneis is from. And 75% of the wine grapes grown in Roero are Arneis. And to maintain that DOCG designation, the wine has to be at least 95% Arneis.
Okay.
So you may see an Arneis wine called Roero Bianco, but unless you just need to know that that's an Arneis wine. Okay? How about that?
Okay.
Now, again, Little Rascal or Little Troublemaker, the name comes.
God.
Why is it called that, you asked, Carmela?
I'm wondering. I'm just dying to know. Yes.
Well, here's why.
Why is it called that, Joe?
Here's why. That little is sometimes difficult to grow. It's a hard grape to grow because...
A little temperamental.
Yes, the grapes are said to be delicate, like me.
Wow.
They have a tendency to have a low yield. I guess like me.
What?
In other words, there's not a lot of berries per plant, and they also have issues with acidity. Like sometimes they don't have enough acidity, and you want a white wine to have some good crispness and acidity that helps with the flavor and just like the typical taste profile of a white wine.
Making it more sweet than sweeter, you think?
No, I don't think sweeter. I just think it can be a more muted wine. But okay. So it's Little Rascal or Troublemaker because it's hard to grow. And evidently there was a time when Arneis was blended into Nebbiolo grapes to make the red wines made from Nebbiolo less tannic, but that doesn't happen anymore. But interestingly enough, they stopped doing that in the 60s and 70s, and because of that, Arneis almost went extinct. Because they weren't really growing it as much.
That's not very good luck at all.
Exactly, but it got its good luck back.
Okay.
And so in the 1980s, there was a bit of a renaissance and an appreciation for the wine, and it's been steadily growing. And Arneis is one of Piedmont's most highly regarded white wines, probably second only to Gavi di Gavi in terms of a white wine. But probably like a lot of Americans, I mean, I hadn't really heard about it. You may not have heard of that, or even Gavi. You may not have heard of Gavi. So we did do an episode on Gavi a couple of years ago, and it's an excellent wine. When we see it, we try and order it. It's a very good wine.
We're crazy for it.
Yeah, but they're not they're not the easiest wines to find, and so you may be able to find an Arneis or agave at a little bit of a lower price, maybe before it gets too popular. And then one article I found online that you can get a link to in our show notes. Yes, Carmela, we have show notes called Arneis, a sommelier's secret summer wine.
Wow, secret summer wine.
Yeah, and we've just got a few weeks of summer left. It's just barely hanging on, although it's
a summer
hot.
day today.
Oh,
yeah.
boy, hot today here in Seatown. That's what we call Seattle, Seatown. So on that note, with just a few weeks of summer left, I think it's time to learn a little bit more about the specific Arneis wines we're drinking today. What do you think?
Perfect.
All right. So, as usual, both of the wines that we chose for this episode are under $20. And I bought both of them on wine.com. I don't know why I'm saying it that way, but it's kind of fun. And I know you can find Arneis, although you may have some challenges finding these specific wines. Although if you go to wine.com, you'll be able to find them. And if any of you out there in listening land know places to get Arneis or some types of Arneis that you like, let us know. We'll share it. We'll put it in the show notes. We would love to share that out.
All right.
So the first wine we're going to taste and review is called Cantine Elvio Tintero Langhe Arneis. And it's from the 2022 vintage. She gave me a real look.
No, that was
What was
good.
that look for? Exactly.
It was just a look.
But because I pronounced it so well?
You did such a nice job.
Thank you.
You're so impressed with your accent.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, now there's not a ton that I could find out about this wine. It is a screw cap.
Woo!
We love a screw cap. It's 13% alcohol.
See what I told you?
What?
I told you that most of these wines are 13%.
Oh, I said that.
No, I see what I told you.
Okay, all right. This is weird. I feel like I'm being gaslighted. Okay. And it's really hard to find reviews for this wine, but I did find a very sparse tech sheet on KermitLynch.com. That's the importer of this wine. And the sheet said the wine spends about 2 months on the lees. And so remember, the lees is all the junk that's left over after a wine is fermented. And sometimes they do that, especially with white wines. They leave it on the lees to give it a little bit more creaminess or mouthfeel. Okay. So there you go. Nice. Now, there was an online wine shop called Swig, which I kind of liked. It looked kind of cool, except it's in the UK. So I can't order from it. So if any of you people out there know about Swig, maybe
what
you
made
can order.
you look at it?
They had some good information because it was hard to find information about the wine. Okay. So this wine is from Langhe. It's not from Roero, but actually both of our wines are from Langhe. And the winery has vineyards in both Langhe and Moscato d'Asti. And evidently the Tintero winery, which again, this is made by the Tintero winery, they focus most of their attention on Moscato. But they make some other wines like Nebbiolo, Barbera, and Arneis. And then they claim to use sustainable farming practices, and they call their wines approachable and affordable.
Oh, nice. We love that.
That sounds right up our alley.
Perfect.
Exactly.
What we are looking for in a wine.
Affordable and approachable.
And a person.
Like me.
What?
I'm affordable and approachable.
You're not that affordable.
I'm not very approachable either.
Sometimes.
I know. I don't want to look at that guy too much. Okay, the second wine we're tasting and reviewing today, she's trying to be nice to me, but sometimes she does give me the malocchio. Okay.
I give him a bad eye.
She has bad eyes. It's a whole nother thing. I think that's why she married me, because she actually couldn't see me that well.
No.
But anyway.
We just have kept them bad. We just don't try and correct them.
I haven't tried to give her glasses, especially now. She'll be like,
I'll put them
what
on.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, they're worse. They're actually like a prescription that's worse than my eyesight.
Exactly.
So he's like, perfect.
Okay. The second wine we're reviewing is called the Luca Bosio Langhe Arneis. And this is from the 2023 vintage. So it's just a BB.
It's a little rascal baby.
Exactly. Again, not super easy to find out information about these wines, but this is also a Langhe wine, as it says in the name. And
it's 13% alcohol.
Well, it is, actually. Okay. And although they say the grapes are grown on the Bosio estate in the Roero region, so I'm not sure. They said it's a Langhe wine, but the grapes are grown on the Roero estate, so I don't know what they're talking about.
Roero.
Oh, boy. Okay, Luca Bosio, who makes this wine, is a third-generation winemaker, and in the marketing materials, I'm not kidding, this is what they said, he has natural winemaking abilities, which he inherited. Now, do you think...
I think that can happen.
Do you think winemaking is genetic? Do you think it's genetic?
I think it's like
Do you think it's inherited?
I mean, yeah, I think it can be when I think of
Okay.
like somebody having a green thumb.
I want to know the winemaking gene. I want somebody to use CRISPR and find the winemaking gene. I don't have the winemaking gene.
I don't think it's like,
I have the tile setting
True,
gene.
that's a whole nother thing, guys. Yeah. That's a whole nother ball of something.
Tiles. Okay.
No, but I do think that sometimes, yes, that you inherit, like if somebody's a carpenter, like the family.
Do you think there's a gene?
No, I don't think it's a gene. I don't think it's that technical.
Okay, so I'm being
skill.
a jerk.
It's a skill.
And it's passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
But he said he inherited it. I don't know.
Because that's a nice way to say it. Kind
Okay.
of makes it seem a little more like legit.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Okay. There are no reviews for this vintage that I could find.
Trying to back Luca up.
No, you're being very thoughtful and kind and supportive. You're being supportive.
Well, I know Luca. No, I don't.
What?
I don't.
Luca, what are you doing with my wife? Anyway, okay. Wine Enthusiast did give the 2021 vintage an 88, which is a very respectable rating. Now, the winery is super confusing online. This is what I'll say. There's a website called Luca Bosio Wine, but it doesn't talk about this wine. Then there's another website called Luca Bosio Vineyards, and there you can find this wine. So I'm confused. They have separate websites. Anyway. I also found the same information on a website called Flaschenpost, but they also had a weird translation, and they translated white wine into ice cream. Which is weird. I don't know, but then they're not similar words. But anyway, they say the wine is fermented for 15 days in stainless steel and then ages on its own yeast. So again, probably they mean the yeast. The lees, not Kanye, the lees for 6 months. Anyway, I think that's enough information. I'm starting to lose my train of thought. I think we need to drink some wine.
Oh boy, that'll make it all better.
That's way better. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. And if you have an Arneis or another
you
white,
just have one hanging out.
Well, or you have another white Italian wine and you want to drink along with us.
And if you don't, then don't bother.
Don't even worry about it. Malocchio. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back and we're ready to try our first wine, and Carmela's making fun of me because I'm sweating. Okay.
Anyway, it's just
we don't have to get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, this wine
You brought it up.
I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
I did? Well, if you wouldn't sweat. No.
Oh, okay, this is the Cantine Elvio Tintero Langhe Arneis. I pronounce it totally different than I did the last time. It's from Piedmont, Italy. The year is 2022. It was $12.99 at wine.com. Very reasonable. 13% alcohol, and it's a screw cap. So what are you smelling?
What are you smelling, melon? No.
It's very appley,
I was just going to say, it's kind of a Granny Smith.
Orchard fruits.
Orchard fruits. Yeah, I'm getting kind of a tart apple.
And maybe a little pear. On it.
Oh, but it must be a tart pear, huh?
Well, I mean, I actually don't find it... I'm not finding it super tart. I think it's actually kind of sweet.
Really? Creamy?
I do. When I swirl it, I'm getting a little creaminess.
I know. Well, I don't know. It's funny. I'm getting a little more like citrus, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be smelling that.
Why can't you smell it?
I don't know.
I feel like I'm maybe getting a little bit like caramely or vanilla too. They don't usually.
You're really getting some sweetness then.
Yeah, I don't think they often oak this wine, but maybe this could be oaked. Who knows? Okay, well, let's try it. See what we think.
Ooh.
You know, I wonder if it is oaked a little. I kind of feel like it's got a little bit of that, like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm just wondering. It's nice. It's got like apple pie, like it's kind of got this apple pie or pear. Actually, I'm getting more pear. I'm almost getting those like crisp pear tastes, but like a pear, pear and spice, like a pear pie filling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of getting something a little bit different on this.
What are you getting?
I'm going to taste it again. It's funny. It's a little bitter to me.
Well, it definitely does have a bitter aftertaste.
It almost has we've been drinking a lot of Aperol lately.
Yeah, we have.
And I'm almost getting a little bit of like an Aperol spritz on it. I don't know why. A little bit of orange even. Like
okay.
Orange.
So this is your citrus is kind of not as lemony. It's more orangey. Or is it grapefruit maybe?
Maybe grapefruit.
With that bitterness?
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, a little orange too. Like a little bit of orange pith. Or like grated orange zest. I don't know. Maybe that's a little weird, but I'm not.
I kind of like it. It's
good. It's definitely a richer white wine.
I mean, this is not your flyaway Pinot Grigio. This has got some mouthfeel to it. It's got a little creaminess in it. So, that's where I think some of the, maybe the lees or the yees, as we would call them, is giving it a little bit of bitterness. But it's definitely orchard fruit, like a pear.
Yes.
It's pear.
Yes, I am definitely, and especially when we first smelled it, that's coming across. But I am getting a little bit of this orange.
Okay, I'm with you.
Bitter orange, but it is.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
You look like you're about to just throw me right under the bus.
Malocchio.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Bad eye. Your eyes are getting.
I can't see you. Okay, what food would you have with this Elvio?
Well,
do you think it's Elvio or Elvio?
How's it spelled?
Elvio.
Elvio.
Okay.
What do you think, Elvio?
I don't know. What are you going to eat with it?
I don't know. Oh, what am I going to eat with it? For whatever reason, it could just be what I'm feeling like tonight. But I feel like this would be really nice with something bready, like some sort of like focaccia or white pizza. I don't know. Yeah,
is that what you wanted to have for dinner?
Not necessarily, but it just feels like it's a lot. I mean, it's definitely a fuller flavor,
sure.
So it could do something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking more like. I mean, you could definitely do like fish. Spicy foods would be really good. But I'm thinking more like a seafoody pasta would be really nice.
Yeah. Or even like seafood pasta or like fried fish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Something like I could see fried prawns would be delicious on this.
Okay.
Or tempura.
Okay.
Tempura
would be really good.
good.
The sushi, our daughter made sushi. She made sushi. She made tempura
incredible.
sushi. It was great.
Yeah.
This would be awesome with sushi.
It would be really, really good with
I think
sushi.
it'd be really good.
And maybe that's where like having the rice with your sushi.
Yes. And the seaweed, that saltiness.
Yes. Could really be a great compliment.
And even the wasabi would be, the spicy would be good. Yeah. Okay, well, let's rate this wine. As a reminder, everybody out there in listening land, on our rating scale, we rate on a scale of 1 to 10. We don't do halvesies, no half points. Where 7 and above means we'd buy it, and a 4 below means that we're going to pour it down the sink, and a 5 or 6 is menza. It's okay. We're going to drink it. We're going to finish it. We're not going to buy it. What rating would you give this wine?
Definitely a 7. Mm-hmm. Definitely a 7. I'm going to keep it at a 7 right now, but I'm really enjoying this one.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. So here's my deal on this one is this is not super typical white wine for us. I think we tend toward the Sauvignon Blancs, the really crispy wines, but I think maybe it's because I'm getting a touch of fall in the air, but but I'm finding this wine really nice. Really It's different, and
it's approachable.
But it's also like there's stuff going on. Like it's interesting wine.
It is. It would be fun to drink with like people other than you and me.
Yeah.
No,
tired of drinking with me.
No.
But I think somebody who likes a Chardonnay might actually like this a little bit.
Yes, and I just think it'd be fun to share with somebody. Like it's something like different than
Luca.
Well, if he wants to come knock on our door.
Elvio. God.
I'm just saying it's a good
Somebody less sweaty. Somebody less sweaty.
No, I don't mind the sweat.
Wow.
The deal is I wouldn't have married you if
true.
I minded the sweat.
That's true. It would have been a very short marriage.
A lot of information, people.
It is.
Anyway, but yes, no, I just think it would be a nice dinner wine. And because like you said,
super nice.
It's not just our palate. It would really be, I think, a wine that a lot of people would enjoy.
I fully agree. Okay.
Pretty bottle, too.
It is a nice bottle. The label's nice. It's in one of those Albacia bottles, which is kind of the Barolo kind of bottle. It's a Piedmont bottle. But anyway, it's really
nice.
nice.
I like the tree.
Yeah, it's a nice wine. Okay, We're going to take a break and we're going to try our last wine.
Okay.
Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our last wine. This is the Luca Bosio Langhe Arneis. This is from Piedmont, Italy as well. It's a 2023. It was $15.99 at wine.com.
Holy cow.
Also 13% alcohol, 100% Arneis as far as I know. And I didn't find any professional ratings, but it is also a screw cap.
Okay.
Okay, what are you smelling?
We are, I'm just thinking of those screw caps, 2 in a row.
This one to me is really orangey. This smells like an Aperol. It smells like Aperol to me.
Funny that we're both getting that.
No, but this one really smells like it. Like even the bitterness and the tartness and the citrus.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there is some like a dried fruit component too. I don't know if it's like a dried apricot or dried, something like that. Like some sort of stone fruit, that peach.
Dried pineapple.
Pineapple, yeah.
Dried
it has
pineapple.
a kind of sugared. This is all within just what I'm smelling, but yeah.
I think dried pineapple, or maybe like a dried mango.
Right. No, I'm down with that. I feel like the dried fruit is coming through in this for some reason.
I'm getting a little bit of pear, but not nearly as much as on the last one. Well, maybe let's try it and see what we think.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh.
It's nice.
It's sweet.
It tastes like a spritz.
No, not as bitter as the last one, though.
Really?
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
I get more of that orange. I really am getting orange on this.
I don't feel like this to me is creamier than the last one.
It's not as bitter as the last one.
Yeah. I feel like this is a little more subtle. I mean, there's a lot going on, but I don't find it as the bitterness really came through on that first white one.
You know, I get what you're saying. It's rounder. It is definitely a rounder and softer wine.
Yes.
It is. I mean, the last one had a little bit more punch to it, which I kind of prefer. This one is it is rounder.
Whereas that's why I feel like that one would have done extra well with the spicy food, the wasabi with your sushi.
This one you're thinking more what?
Well, this one, I could do a delicate piece of fish.
I'm thinking more appetizer-y kind of stuff.
Okay, like charcuterie. And,
yeah.
Or a brie, a baked
lumpia. Baked brie would be really good.
Brie would be nice. But a lumpia, or an egg roll kind of thing too. Oh, I could see, or gyozas. Oh, wow. Yeah. You can see where our minds go. What things Joe likes to eat compared to one.
And also, wow, that was kind of shots fired.
What?
I don't know.
I can't say anything without Mr. Sensi coming.
Oh boy! First I'm sweaty and now I'm Sensi. Okay,
Sensi,
yeah.
Ponytail guy, but he doesn't have a ponytail.
No, I've got a bald spot. But anyway,
I didn't. Bring
at one point I actually straightened my hair in college. That's a whole different story. We're going to get to.
You're really.
At some point in my life.
Sharing
I'm confessing. I'm confessing today.
Do you need to talk?
I do. I need a intervention. Board? I think so. Oh. Anyway, no, I am getting a little bit of back to the wine. I'm getting a little bit of orchard fruit, but I keep feeling like it's more citrusy and orangey.
Yeah, definitely peachy. Yeah, not as much pear or apple on this, and it's creamier. I'm getting a little bit of that. I wouldn't say caramel or butterscotch, but there is a vanilla creaminess to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to put my finger on what it is. You know what I think I'm tasting?
What?
Like a sorbet.
Ooh.
I feel like it's a sorbet, like a lemony sorbet or an orange sorbet.
Absolutely. Should we make some cream. Wine sorbets?
Oh, that sounds delish.
Ooh.
A slushy?
Oh my God, a Slurpee.
Wine Slurpee.
Wait, so what flavor of gelato did you say?
I didn't say gelato. I said
sorbet.
I said a gelée. No, a sorbet.
A sorbet. Yeah, so what flavor?
It said lemon or orange.
Okay, I just wasn't listening to that part. Okay. Lemon or orange. Okay, yeah, I love it.
Are you going to listen now? Okay, let's rate this wine. What are you going to give it?
I'm giving it an 8.
Oh, wow, you like this one better.
I do.
I'm giving this one a 7.
Okay.
So we split.
Flip-flopped.
We flip-flopped. But yeah, I mean, I think I like the other one better because I think it's a little a little sharper, a little. I don't know.
It's different than an acidic wine.
It is.
I like acidic wines. The other one to me is bitter. And I like bitter.
I like bitter.
A lot.
I guess I like bitter. Yeah. Which one of these are you finishing tonight?
I'll take Luca.
Okay, I'm going with Elvio.
Okay.
Let's talk about the taste profiles expected from Arneis. In general, Wine Folly says peach, yellow apple, honey, raw almond, nutmeg.
Okay, almond and honey. Now I can taste that.
The winery says soft, mellow, and faintly floral, subtle, bitter almond note, graceful and approachable. Swig says dainty and pretty, soft, mellow, floral, with a little bitter almond pithy note. Not in your face, not shouty, but softly aromatic with an easy grace and approachability. Kermit Lynch says soft, juicy, ripe pears, limestone minerals, great aromatics, a seductive mid-palate. So there you go. Mm-hmm. Luca Bosio, the winery says it starts with a clean floral nose with captivating hints of pineapple, apricot, and peach. We got that.
Yeah.
And the Flaschen Post, where the guys call it ice cream, which it does kind of taste kind of ice creamy. And also from the tech sheet, smooth with fruit and floral notes. Well, that is very general. Fruit and floral notes.
Yeah, wow.
It tastes like fruit And it has some floral notes, and good acidity.
Good job.
I actually don't think it has. I don't think either of these are super acidic.
No, not well. Especially this, not the second one for me.
Or maybe it's the fact that the creaminess of the wines kind of tamp down on the acidity a little bit. Maybe
the
that's
first one I had a little bit more, but it was more of like a zest of the orange.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think about this adventure? Do you think Arneis is on our to-go white wine list now?
I think so.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
I do too. I'm like, this is fun. This is why we do these Italian wine adventures and our Portuguese wine primers and Bordeaux bargains and all this stuff, because we're trying to find wines that maybe you wouldn't find all over the place, and you get to try something new. And this is super fun.
So fun.
Like,
Great idea.
Yeah. So I like strongly suggest, if you have the opportunity, if you have a wine shop around you, they have an Italian wine section, see it. And especially if they have Piedmont wine, see if you can find an Arneis.
And how did you decide on the Arneis? Arneis. Is it Arneis?
Yeah, I don't know. I just was like, let's try an Italian wine that's a little different. Let's go for a white wine. And it popped up. So that's why we're doing it.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, Carmela, it's time for us to go. But before we do, we want to thank you very much for listening to us. And if you haven't done so yet, now would be the perfecto time, as I said before, to follow or subscribe to our podcast. And also, really, if you're enjoying what you're listening to, leave us a nice rating review. You can do that on our website or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or other podcast app. And it's a really nice way to support us, because we don't charge you anything. We don't have advertisements. It's a free way to support us for the free content that we offer you. And we would love to hear from you, and we'd love to hear about a wine that you'd like us to taste and review, or an area of the world you want us to check out for the wines that they make. So leave a message for us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. And again, you can join our email newsletter there. And if you missed it, email me and I'll send it to you. Our email is joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. You can reach out to us there. You can DM us on Instagram. There's all sorts of ways you can get a hold of us. And with that, we're going to sign off. And so we want to thank you again, and we'll see you next time. And as we say, life is short, so stop drinking shitty wine. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Arrivederci.
Bye-bye.
And the happy ending at the end of our story. Always think too much. Always drink too much. Always pray too much. Always play too much. And when I'm with you too much, I fall in love too much. And when I'm away too much,